Hello, everyone. I am Arta Mehana, and I'm thrilled to be hosting this special series of podcasts talking entrepreneurship, youth entrepreneurship in Western Balkans as part of the project Youth Entrepreneurship Education Program. Throughout this series of podcasts, we have covered many insightful stories regarding entrepreneurship in Kosovo. And our upcoming guest is a young entrepreneur in Kosovo who has a very interesting story to share with us all. Today with us is Getoar Ramadani, who will share more of his story. Welcome and glad to have you here.
Hi, Arta. Thank you very much for inviting and making possible this podcast with me and also sharing my experience during this time. I'm Getoar Ramadani, and my background actually it's an automation and robotics engineer. Graduated at University of Pristina, Faculty of Electrical and Computer Engineering, and I'm also I'm part of the company NeuralMed. NeuralMed is a company dealing with medical equipment, especially with the radiology equipments. NeuralMed it's representative of the fourth biggest manufacturer in the world for radiology equipments, United Imaging Healthcare, based with the headquarters in Shanghai.
Okay, so I introduce you as an entrepreneur. This is a very big endeavor you are working on right now, but in this podcast we love stories. So I would like to know or hear from you, where did your story begin? Where did you start to be involved in this field, how you got inspired, and what's more of your profile in your beginnings?
Yeah, actually, it's quite interesting because how I started and how I found it out, how I would like to deal with medical equipments. It started from one of the lectures that we have in the faculty in the third year. And it was microcontrollers and microcomputers, and in that lecture we had different kind of projects. So, and working, I was more interested in how the things are working, how everything could be copied, how everything could be created, different kind of new technologies, approaches, solutions for different kind of problems that may exist in the real world. And during that, I was very focused on the low-level programming, especially in assembly C, directly in the microcontrollers and microprocessors. And after that, I finished. I had to do my thesis, and so I decided to get it to I would say, the best professor of electrical and computer engineering, Professor Lavdim Kurtay. So I decided, okay, let's do something from technical point of view and also related to the medical part. So my thesis was building the artificial platform for testing the vestibulo-ocular system of the human beings.
Okay.
So why it was that? Because now all of us have smartphones, have digital cameras and holders of them, systems of them that can deal with the image stabilization. So what the technology has faced during its development, it's that they started to develop different kind of technologies, different kind of platforms, could be like electrical one, mechanical ones, and in some points they reach the limits. So what the engineers and what the researchers all around the world did, they started to ask themselves how the human beings, how the people actually are doing or implementing these kind of technologies. For example, how can a person or a human being walk in different areas that are not flat, with a lot of deviation and levelness, and still maintain the image stabilization in their eyes, in their head. So this was one of was the problematic that I wanted to analyze for my thesis, and also prepare the platform based on the vestibulo-ocular system that it's implemented in the people, in the human beings. So yeah, that was. So then after that, so here started actually what it was interesting for me, because I always, when you have a problem and you would like to make a solution, Usually, all now we know also based on the algorithm that the most advanced algorithm now, or the neural networks, which was used quite often in the technologies nowadays, and it's the one of the algorithms that was able to learn by itself and to be trained, and then also to be integrated in different kind of platforms and softwares to make solutions. So this was actually one what makes me so happy to study about the way how the people and the humans works, and then copy this kind of way of technologies that were traded and returned back so to the technical part. And this was in bachelor, so I did actually analyzes different kind of the movements that the of the persons or having. They have especially 5 movements. So then I was copying 3 of them and putting in my platform and testing that when you have like different kind of movements, interrupts, in order to compensate these moves and still to have the image stabilized in the cameras and the softwares.
Okay.
So nowadays this all our technology actually that we have, smartphones, they are calling this smartphone has the image stabilization. They are coming actually from the way how the our brain, our head, it's doing that. So it's a copy of that.
Technology copying nature.
Yeah, that's actually the most common right now, because as a technology we have came up to very limited actually solutions in terms of technical aspects, and now in order to improve them and to develop further, we are copying actually live beings, like depends, for example, of what kind of application, but you can see that now the most advanced, for example, a robotics company, it's DARPA, which is copying the movements of robots like quadrupeds and different kind of animals, just to make it transportation for the soldiers, for example, food and everything in different kind of wars. So yeah. And this was actually the first one, and I didn't continue, so I didn't give up from this field. So I started with it, and then later on I continued with after I graduated from the bachelor's, I continued with my master's. So also we had different kind of projects also during the master levels, but still I was stuck with another project in my master thesis. So also I had like the problematic was that how we the movements of the hands and everything. So it was, let's make we have a robot actually at our laboratory, so I wanted to split all the nodes in each of the boards there, and where all these boards communicate together with a CAN bus where they share information about their actual position, also the desired position, and we have another master board when it says to this boards how to move. So with very shortly making a description, it's like and the idea is that if we will be able, for example, to have a robotic hand which can be controlled like the hand for each of the nodes, and if these nodes do directly the computational of the maths and algorithms in their nodes, or it's done from the brain, like it's something like that, but still has to do like a relation between the human beings calculations for the algorithms of the head, of the movements of the hand, or copy it and analyze it. What would be the limitation? Can we reach the same? So yeah, that's, and after that, or maybe in the meantime, actually during this, I started with another ex company, which was in Pristina. So they were actually the distributor of another manufacturer of medical equipments, Philips Healthcare. So I worked there for 4 years, and we did a lot of projects here in Kosovo. MR, CTs, X-rays, and for mostly, but they are focused with the application in humans to diagnostify them to see if they have something. And then later on, I decided to leave from there and to open my own company.
Before we go to there, to your enterprise now, I would like to go back because hearing you talk to so much detail, passionately, and very specialized in the field. You mentioned your journey through studies. The projects were mostly part of bachelor's or master's studies, and you also mentioned the name of a professor. Now, I believe as a mentor for you, since you mentioned him by name, he played a big part on your journey together with other professors that you have worked with. I want to know from you, was your experience during studies decisive on your journey ahead and on you deciding to take on your own endeavor? What role exactly did the university, formal education that you have, play into you taking the journey that you are doing today with your company? Now, we will get to that later, but since you mentioned it a lot, I would like to know more of your take.
Yeah.
Because there is always this discussion: is the formal education fostering enough the entrepreneurship mindset, or there is more to do? Because in Kosovo, especially, most of the entrepreneurial endeavors are taken outside of the formal education system. So, but a lot of your stories during the studies. So I want to know from your perspective or from your experience, how was it?
Actually, yeah, thanks for the question, because it's a great question and it's very often asked, and mostly also the students or ask itself these questions: how can my university actually help, or will the university help me for the future when we will go out? And what I would like to mention, and was very critical, and I think that still it's critical. Why it's critical? Because it's we are living in a world where there are a lot of information, and it's impossible to deal with all of them. So what our university, and especially our professors, especially the Professor Lavdian that I mentioned, had a very good approaches, because you don't need, or it's not mandatory, or you don't need to learn all the details. The approach was that you should know how to find the information. You should know how to open the books. You should know how to treat the problem, and to divide it in a smaller problems, and to identify what exactly it's requested. And then based on that, then you will have a very good idea what you should do. And based on that, when you know actually the problem, and you know also the basics and the functions of all the things that we have learned, then you easily can access to them. So you just need to go to open that book, and you know actually how it works. So you just need to collect all the information that are specified there, combine them, and also finalize the project. So the message and everything that he has transmitted to us, it was that you don't need to be scared from the real world when you are going out, because you will face different kind of the problems and different kind of situation that you have never seen before. So, but everything has a very simple way of working. It could be very complicated, but when you analyze it quite deeply, and then you see that it's very simple way of working. So that there are a bunch of things done together, and then there is a whole product, how it works. But it's always like a simple way of working behind that, a simple philosophy. So for that, this helped actually a lot, because then I was not afraid to go into different kind of projects. Besides this, I would like to mention, because we had also some other projects in the faculty when we take, it was very interesting, let me tell you in other words. I decided to go in one of the conferences and exhibition, which is focused on the embedded systems. Embedded systems are systems that are working without the interruption or without the intervention of the humans. For example, with the washing machine, you just put all the clothes there and then you just give some commands
Does the magic.
and does the magic. Yes, but it does all the work for you without needing the intervention time by time. So, and the whole system, it's called an embedded system. And in the last day before leaving from this conference, I changed the entrance, and then I saw that there were hold competition for the line followers car. So there is a car which follows a line, and then there were a lot of young people there, students mostly, and it was organized by the largest manufacturer of microcontrollers. So it's called Renesas. It's based on Japan, and it's the largest manufacturer of microcontrollers for automotive. So then I approached it to the organizer and said how we can participate with our university, and they give me other advices and instructions. So I returned back and asked to my professor that the next year we should participate here. So after some months, 8 months, then the opening was, the call was pronounced, and then we applied there and we received the kit. So then we start developing the car there with very low knowledge actually on that part, because for Kosovo and also for us, autonomous driving was a very new field, and actually it was also new to the whole world. And then slowly by slowly, after 3-4 months, we took all the parts, making together, programming it, testing it, working until late hours, sometimes even to the morning, and making the car which we first time we took from the 30 universities that there was, we took the 14th place. It was not so good, but the good was that we have our robot was the most discussed one on that, because we didn't know, but we choose the hardest model of a robot, the hardest one, and everyone was so amazed how we could come to this solution with as a first participant, and from a country that it was not well known to all of them. And so next year, from the 14th place that we got the 4th place.
That's
the 4th place. That was a very huge.
Interesting.
So, but the simple was that you shouldn't be afraid from nothing. It's very important that you should take some time to analyze things, problems, to split them, to see how you can divide them in order to finish one by one, and so you can reach the end easily. And with the resources that you have, because sometimes also the resources are important. And with this approach that we got from the university, I started gradually to establish
your idea.
My idea, and also my company. So it was quite interesting. And
but that's what entrepreneurship is all about, isn't it? You try once, you don't do so well, but still you have a good idea, you have a good concept, so you work on it to make it better, and you try again and you try it again up to the point where you succeed.
Actually it's I would say to everyone that there is always space for you, because sometimes the new entrepreneurships are saying, but there are a lot of solutions in the market. Will my idea work? How will they I don't want to start because there are no, actually in the market always there is a space for you. So if you are very if you are keen, and if you are very consequences, and you are always trying, you will reach, you will come to one point when you will succeed, and also the market will open the space for you. So this is how we did actually, because when we started our company, our first questions was that how can we find a company which we would like to represent here in Kosovo and to compete with the others one. Actually, there were 4 already big ones here, and then still.
Would you talk shortly about the company, like the name of the company, what your core business is, and then we move with other questions about the company, because I don't think we mentioned it in the beginning.
Yeah, actually, during my experience with this other with my ex company, when I was working in the medical field, so I saw that there are some of the things that are missing to the market here, and when we opened our new company, Neuralmed, so which we started and we asked ourselves, as I mentioned, is there any other manufacturer which we can work with them together to improve the services and also the quality of medical services for the people here in Kosovo. So the main competitors here were the big ones like GE, Siemens, and Philips. And then we asked them, is there any manufacturer which would compete this PSG? And then we found this other company which is called United Imaging Healthcare. It was a young company, a new company, like till now, like a startup, but with a very huge impact and with a lot of
already.
And so they had quite a big team and a big portfolio in very short years of the development. So we started working with them and discussing our approach and how we can cooperate together and how we can bring their solution, because it's very important nowadays that all the people should have the possibility we are saying like healthcare for all. So every person should benefit from the new technologies in the healthcare in order to improve their lives or to solve their problems that they may have. So then a lot of companies here, a lot of hospitals, private, public, were suffering from the service part, because they were buying the equipment, but they didn't have so much support for the local companies in terms of service and maintaining them. So then we said, okay, this is something what it's missing here in our market, and we should target this part. So we decided that our company should have local staff, which will be engineers, mostly engineers with the focus on the IT and also electrical part, so they can understand the equipment, how they work. And then when we will be able actually to sell here in our market, the customers not to be afraid from us, so they would have the local service, and in case of the problems we will be able to solve them very fast. So it's and also what we did is that we focus a lot on the training. So this was also missing to the market. And after each project that we are doing, after each equipment that we are installing, we are bringing different kind of people from outside of Kosovo, which has a high knowledge on the application and experience on this field, and bringing them here to try to pass their knowledge here. So then all this knowledge that is outside, all this experience can be used to improve our lives. So which is very important in the medical in the field recently, especially when we have a lot of new disease and cancer types and everything. So this was what we did, actually, how we started, and now we are.
How is it going?
It's going slowly, but it's going great. So this is very important, because great things come slowly and take times. And always when you would like to do perfect things and good projects, you have to deal long with them. And also for us, it's a new experience, and we are also our team, and it's learning a lot. So we are trying always to pass here and to implement the information that we are getting outside. So it's quite interesting, and we see, because the biggest two fields when most of the money actually are going, or the army field and the medical field. And when we see that the people are always need more services, I would say, in order to pass different kind of disease and to still to continue living. And when you see that sometimes your input, your effort actually has saved someone, then it's quite good. So you feel very well.
So what I'm getting, I mean, thank you for all the information. I'm sure what you and your team are doing is great, and it's a very well-found idea for a service that is really needed here. But I want to recap the conversation. I want to get into what made you the person that you are today, and I want to go back from the period you were studying, how that experience shaped you. You talked about the importance of mentorship in this field in general, mentorship for youth people in general, and I think that's a very good point to enhance even further, because really in all fields in Kosovo, I think there is a bit of misunderstanding of the role, or it's underestimated the role of mentorship in career or in entrepreneurship, in whatever endeavor that the youth are oriented. We are not very much aware of the importance of mentorship and finding the right people to talk with, to share ideas and to get insights from. You also mentioned something about approaching this person who was organizing the event with the self-driving cars. And I think that talks a lot about you, the way you approach to things. You took a step, you asked, and then things happened. You managed to concrete that conversation into something that happened, and you succeeded in that endeavor as well. And then you started your own thing, and the way you're talking about it, it's that you understand that in this field it takes time. It's a process, and you have to trust this process and be patient. And you also mentioned that the team is learning, which is very important to state. I mean, it's never enough to say that. You have to know that you have to be learning all the time, because the market changes, the needs of the clients change, the technology changes. You have to be up to date, and for that you need to understand that you have to continue learning.
Okay, so let's return to the first things that you mentioned and you ask, and you bring it actually up to this discussion, which is very important now, the mentoring. So let me explain it with two words.
Recap this whole conversation, because it was very insightful. So I want to take the most of it, highlight, bullet points of this whole conversation.
I would like to explain it with some of the old words that we have, that the people are learning from their own mistakes. But if you can learn from other mistakes, then it's much better.
Why do I have to make a mistake first of all?
So, and if you can learn, actually, all the idea of having a mentor, and also like getting the advices and working with them, it's just to speed up of the way that you would like to go somewhere, to approach what you are looking for. So this is the way. And always, I think that all the new entrepreneurships and all the new young people should look for the mentors and approach to them, so they can get advices, because advices are coming from their experiences, and for sure never all the time, so you will find them useful in a moment or later on now. So it's very important to have them, and this is what we had, because we were like we have many mentors in different kind of projects, and we were using actually, and still sometimes we use their advices, but they give it to us, because they came also from the market. And it's very important, and no one should be afraid actually to approach mentors. Sometimes mentors be more like aggressively or more, but still they are passing to you a very important information. So it's very important to have that one. And also, so regarding that, the breaking barriers, I would say, because sometimes approaching people, you never should be shy about something. Because the idea is that, okay, let's break the barrier, let's approach them, because what the people are doing, especially when are coming to the public, it's like an invitation for you, that come and ask me. I'm here in order to support you and to help you. So also for me it was not easy, but I say, okay, I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna ask it. Yeah, I have to. Even that sometimes they didn't know where is Kosovo, because I'm speaking for many years ago, like maybe like 7-8 years ago. And then but they were very satisfied with us, so it's they were very happy that we are interested to participate in what they are organizing, because they were organizers, and the organizers always want to have participants there. So, and it was like a quite a big step for us, but then it continued, and in all the projects actually it's good, because the projects have teams, and teams always come together to solve problems, to develop things, to improve technologies and everything. And when you have a teammate, or when you have more teammates in one project, it's easier, because as we said, alone you can go much faster, but together with someone you can go much far away, and this is very important. But also it's important that with this kind of development so fast, it's very important to be very elastic, I would say, or very open to receive new information, to adapt them how they would fit to you, and then to make changes, because receiving information and not making changes is worthless. So always we have to get the new information, the new updates, the new technologies that are developing and are for us, to adopt them in a good way and implement them in our companies, in our projects, and being all the time with the others. So it's very important.
Yeah, well, thank you very much for the insightful conversation. I enjoyed it a lot. I learned a lot about the field that you work with, and I hope that your company will grow fast, will cross borders, and we will, as a society, be proud of the success of young people like you, breaking barriers. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you very much also for your invitation, and making possible for me to pass my experience, and also maybe someone would take this information helpful and use them, and work on their ideas and their companies. So thanks a lot. More.
Thank you so much for being a role example for other young people to learn from. Now we will close this conversation here, but we will have more insightful stories on the upcoming episodes. Thank you very much.